For PHNX, I'm Jesse Friedman, and this is The Rattle. Few injury updates here. First of all, Diamondbacks first baseman Christian Walker suffered a left oblique strain in late July. He seems to be getting fairly close as he took live BP today, according to manager Torey Lovullo. Lovullo was asked about September 1st when rosters expand. As for whether that could be a target date for Walker to return to the Diamondbacks, Lovullo was non-committal on that front. He said it could happen earlier than that, but it also could happen later. Lovullo added that there's been an idea for Walker to play in games this weekend, but it sounds like he would start first at Salt River Fields, play in some sort of a controlled environment there, and then maybe rejoin the Dbacks after that point. We'll continue to keep you updated on Walker's situation. As far as second baseman Ketel Marte is concerned, Marte, of course, has dealt with multiple re-injuries of that left ankle. He's been on the IL since August 19th with that left ankle sprain. He would be eligible to return in a couple of days on the 29th, but based on what Lovullo told us today, it doesn't sound like that's going to happen.
I don't know that answer. He is continuing to work as hard as he possibly can. You know, it was some agility stuff in the pool that has transitioned over into taking swings in the cage, which is very positive. So, we just got to be mindful of what he can do, and on that leg or ankle, that's not going to impact his recovery. He's out of the treatment phase, and he's into a little bit of a return to play program, handling and tolerating what he can. I know he wants to be back as bad as anybody. He wants to spend as little time on the IL as possible. But I haven't had a chance to connect with him in the past few days, but I'm just telling him, look, we need to make sure that you're right, because we need to go full throttle with this thing. He's got a champion's heart and a champion's mentality. He wants to come back as soon as possible. I do know that. But there's no target date on that yet.
Now, Lovullo was also asked specifically if Marte is asymptomatic at this point, and Lovullo said he's fairly asymptomatic, but he clarified that there are some movements that Marte has not tried yet. It sounds like playing on spikes once again is going to be a big box for them to check in this process. So we'll continue to keep you updated on Marte. Doesn't sound like you're going to see him in a couple of days when he's first eligible to come off the IL. Finally, from an injury standpoint, Gabriel Moreno still working his way back from that left adductor strain suffered at the beginning of August. Moreno continues to make progress. He hit in a cage today, but Lovullo said they're continuing to be very cautious about Moreno's lower half and how he uses it in his activities. So no firm updates there. It's still going to be a while before we see Moreno back with the Diamondbacks. Transitioning over to a few other items, a big piece of news on the road trip for the Dbacks is that Ryan Nelson is staying in the rotation while veteran lefty Jordan Montgomery goes to the bullpen. Today, Lovullo was asked for more details on Montgomery's role, and here's what he had to say.
He's going to cover a little bit of length for us and keep us in some games. You know, a high pitch count, scores 3-0, and it's just not working for a starting pitcher in the fourth inning. I'll run him out there and let him finish the game. And you know, one thing I want to say about Jordan is I've really appreciated and respect his professionalism. I know it wasn't the greatest news when I had to sit him down and tell him what the plan was. He didn't like it. I didn't want him to like it, nor did I expect him to like it. But I think he knows for the good of the team, getting into this role and figuring out this role as quickly as possible is going to be the best situation for this team. And that ultimately is what I needed. That's why I made the decision. I think he accepts that as well, and I appreciate that.
Well, it's no secret that since the Diamondbacks removed Paul Sewald from the closer role at the beginning of August, that Justin Martinez, the 22-year-old flame-throwing right-hander, has gotten the majority of the reps in that spot. And Martinez has had success. He has not blown a save in the month of August. He's been pretty good, although there have been some shaky moments at times. He did give up a home run in a safe situation in Boston. Lovullo has previously been pretty hesitant to call Martinez his closer. He's not been willing to use that term. Today, Lovullo was asked once again, is it fair to say that Martinez is the closer?
No, I'm not gonna give him that. I don't want to give anybody that yet. We're still working on some things. I've liked what I've seen from Paul. There have been some improvements, and our best bullpen has Paul on the very back end of it, and I want that to happen really bad.
And that's all that we have for this edition of The Rattle. For all of your Diamondbacks coverage, keep it locked right here to PHNX.
We all silly like the mayor.